Hey YouTube, today we are doing a special video. We're having an in-store clinic because it is spring break right now. We're gonna have 3 kids asking all sorts of questions about how to fix scooters. Hopefully this helps you out with working on your own scooter. So let's meet the people that are gonna be teaching us, or more asking us about it. Who do we have here?
Nick,
Nico,
and Britton.
So who has the first question about how to work on their scooter?
I want to know how to take my scooter bars off and then make them straight when I put them back on.
regripping your scooter deck.
And then fixing a stripped bolt.
So we'll go in order of ask. We're gonna show how to straighten your bars after taking them apart. We're gonna show you how to regrip a scooter, and then a stripped bolt, which you most likely won't be able to do from home. Let's get into it. So he's gonna be flying around, he's gonna be taking apart his scooter, and then he wants to know after he takes apart his scooter, what's the best way to straighten it up? So this will work for IHC or HIC or mini HIC. With SCS, it's basically the same principle. You just got like a quad clamp, and you can kind of use the bottom clamp to help you out a little bit. I'll show you on an SCS right after I show you on an IHC. So this is a Park Tool foldable, easier to keep in your pocket. We sell these online. We also sell these online. These are harder to keep in your pocket. These ones will get you a little bit better leverage and are a little bit stronger, but this is way better if you just need a compact tool, like you're flying around. This will take up very little space. So we highly recommend these if you need something to travel around, or if you need a better tool to get a better grip on stuff. The Y tool is great. So when you're loosening your clamp, make sure you loosen the bolts evenly. You don't want to loosen the top bolt all the way and have the bottom still on full strength. It can cause some warping of the clamp or the bolts. To get your bars off, you're gonna wanna stomp and pull up. And then while I have it off, I might as well touch on IHC compression. Nothing's actually pushing down on this. It'll be rattling around. So when you tighten your bars, you're gonna wanna press down on it, putting some pressure onto the top cap, keeping it dialed. So I usually just rest my big old gut on there while I tighten it, and I'll keep it. So right now, they're not straight at all. Check that out right there. You're not gonna wanna ride that. That's the bar straight. Here's the wheels straight, no bueno. Technique I use is I stand over the top of the scooter and I'll just kind of kick it until I get it straight. And something to keep in mind, if your bars and your clamp are applying a little bit of pressure, if you spin it to the left, you could actually loosen your compression a little bit. So if you're putting it on, maybe put a little bit to the left first, so when you spin it right, it's actually not gonna loosen it. So right now I'm to the left of it, so I can kick it pretty good. I like to close one eye. He has pegs on right now, so this actually helps. As long as your axles and pegs are all straight, you can kind of kick it, close one eye, and try to line these pegs up with the crossbar right there. So you can see they're almost perfectly in line. I'll probably need to do a little bit of adjustment. If you're using an Allen wrench, you can even just kind of reach down and hit the wheel a little bit. I would say I'm slightly to the right, just a little bit. Reach down and just kind of tap the wheel so it barely moves. If you right now just did a big kick, it's gonna be completely sideways. So you wanna be nice little small movements. And then before I fully tighten it down, I'm thinking it looks pretty good. I'll usually just kind of roll back and forth so I can feel if my hands feel right. After you've been riding as long as me, you can kind of just feel if it's straight or not. And luckily yours is holding pretty tight, so you don't really have to tighten the bolts at all. If you are feeling a lot of wobble right now and you think it's almost straight, try to press down on the bars and barely tighten the bottom bolt just so it holds everything barely in place. Like I'm just gonna get a little snug. So that'll hold everything in place, where you can move it a little bit more, maybe even kind of actually roll on it. That's looking pretty straight. If you think it's not straight, loosen that bottom bolt and try tapping on the wheel the direction you think it should go.
That's straight.
That looks straight, all right. And then for tightening, we already have the bottom bolt going. And I'm actually gonna loosen it again because I didn't press down on that. You can see right there, I can freely spin that, so that's not gonna be dialed, that's gonna be chinging around right there. So I'm gonna loosen that bottom bolt that we barely tightened. Clamp's a little crooked. So how I like to keep the clamp straight, I'll get the side of the Allen wrench just right in there. You don't wanna squeeze too hard, but you can just ever so slightly kind of wedge it apart and spin it. Now I have to go above it so I can see if it's straight. Moved it a little too much. So now that I'm standing above it, it's way easier to tell what's straight and what's crooked. I would say just a little small tweak again. There we go, that's looking good. So I'm gonna press my weight down on the bars, and as always, you're tightening the bolts just a little bit at a time. So you're gonna start either top or bottom, just a little turn, go back up to the top, a little turn, got to the top, a little turn. You're gonna wanna buy something called anti-seize for all your bolts. Go to a hardware store, anti-seize assembly lube. So this is great for any of your bolts because it's really thin and penetrating, so it'll tighten those threads and help keep you from either stripping your bolt or rounding out your bolt. This will help a lot. Now, check that boy out, and let's see a tail whip. All right, so that's how I personally check if it's straight. Close one eye, stand above, And then if you think it's straight, just tighten the bolt just a little bit, so in case someone walks by and bumps into your bar, you don't have to start all over. Of course, with IHC, you're gonna wanna push down the bars to keep that top cap from jiggling. Alrighty, who's next? How to re-grip grip tape. The Envy grip tape, if you've been riding it for a while, it gets really sticky. We use something called a heat gun, something like this. When you plug it in, it blows really hot air out, and that'll help release the glue. If you don't heat it up, there's a good chance if you have that Envy stock grip tape or any of that Envy aftermarket grip tape will just kind of tear, like, you know, if you have a sticker on your helmet and it has that paper back and just only pieces tear off. So the heat gun helps a lot. I've tried it with a hair dryer before I worked at a shop. It does not work as good. The hair dryer doesn't get as hot. So one of these is definitely great if you're doing a lot of grip tape. Otherwise, your local scooter shop will definitely have one of these in the shop. We also have a video on our YouTube about how to grip. I'll just briefly give you a rundown of how we would go about that. Britton has a nice custom grip tape. What is this?
Well, I melted crayons onto my grip tape.
And do you recommend doing that?
No, because it makes it more slippery.
Yeah, crayons melt really easily, so we don't recommend crayon melting, and now his grip tape is really slippery. Do you want to peel this off so we can show people how to peel it off?
Sure.
So he's got a full deck right now. Let's see if I can just peel it off, and then if we have some troubles, I'll show you how to use the heat gun. So make sure you ask parents' permission before using a razor blade, a knife, anything like that, and always cut away from you. See how I started to put my hand here and I went, oh no? Do not cut like this, because you slip, you're gonna be getting a deep wound right there. You don't want that. So you're gonna wanna just get underneath the edge, pull it up, and now I'm gonna pull kind of quick to see what a tear would look like. Oh wow, this is coming off nice. So if this was the Envy grip tape or a stock scooter grip tape, it's gonna peel apart. Do you wanna put your deck back up here, Nico? You can kind of see that there's like some paper showing beneath. So they have a back of paper on there, and that's why when it peels off, it kind of gets all papery. This right here, there's no paper back, so it stays on way better. And it looks like I'm gonna have no trouble peeling this whole deck off. So there you go, the Heli grip coming off in one sheet. So we chose the Apex grip tape, right?
Yep.
See there's it's flush in the back. Now I'm gonna pinch it back just maybe like a couple millimeters, couple centimeters. Eyeball up the front. I'm just gonna put a little rough patch right there. Now if you have some extra scissors at home that your parents won't kill you, if you cut with them, you can simply cut with scissors. Here at the shop, we use a straight cutting board. So you guys have probably seen this in like art class, right? And then we got a perfectly straight cut like that. Now the easiest way to do the back end is to take everything off.
But mine are stripped.
Yours are stripped. Bummer. Is that where your stripped question came from? Britton. So a potential technique, you can take a rubber band and put it over the bolt, a wide flat one, and then that'll take up some of the space, and you should be able to shove this in there and hopefully get a little bit more grip. So when you guys are tightening a little bolt, you gotta be extra careful, right, Britton?
Yep.
So you're gonna wanna make sure the Allen wrench is all the way down in there, and then with these, they are not as strong as your clamp bolts, so you won't tighten them as much. That's why there's 3 on it. I got that one going, and I'm pressing hard down, Britton. Ooh, got them all. And then what I have here is a socket wrench, highly recommended tool. So the easiest way to do a full deck in the back is to fully remove all the hardware and make sure you don't lose anything. So I like to have like a designated spot. I'm putting all my tools and everything in one spot so you're not dropping bolts. So now with the wheel removed, it's way easier to grip the back end. We have the straight front end since it wasn't long enough. So I personally like to peel the whole thing off first. I line up the front and I just lightly kind of set it down because it's not stuck yet. Make sure this edge is good, make sure it lines up in the back. I'm happy with the placement, so I just start patting it down. Start in the middle and I work my way out to keep air bubbles out. Let's say you get an air bubble, you can then take your trusty razor blade, just poke it right in the center and you'll be able to squeeze it out. So now we're gonna score the edges. So I'll just do a little section, then I'll let you guys each try a little section. You wanna get a good about 45-degree angle with the deck and press really hard. What that does is it gives you a line to cut on. Someone else wanna give it a shot? There you go. See if you can get that back end too. Press hard, you want a good edge, you want to wear it out. Nice. You want to give it a shot? Just the way I laid it out, I have a really good edge here, so I probably won't need a cut, but I will score just a little bit to make sure it's fully stuck down. And then since it is just barely hanging off, I'll peel it up just a little bit so I can get a good cut on it. Just peeling up the edge, because right now if I just try to pull across it, it wouldn't cut clean. So now, let's see if you can see that. There's just a little slight edge on there, so I can cut right along there. And then I'll press down again on the back to show you what happens if you don't peel it up. So this back end right there, I'll have to come back and clean up. Just watch how clean this first cut is. Nice and clean, and then I get to that back, made it through. Well, No good example there for you. Sometimes if it's pinched over, the cut will actually go to this little bit lower edge and you'll have to file it or keep scoring till it's all the way gone. Get this other side, nice cut right there, and this side's all good. And then for the back end, I just kind of figure out where the end of the deck is, cut it right down the middle, feel the back, get that back end all smoothed out. Then same thing, score that. So this edge right there is giving me a little bit of trouble. So I'm just gonna try to work it out. There we go, I managed to tear through just a little bit. And again, nice, slow, and controlled. And then for my first cut, there's a little tiny edge right here. So you can simply just score that bad boy off. We also have our three brake holes on this. If you're having trouble locating it by just poking, depending on the design of your deck, you can poke through the bottom, but this one doesn't have that. I'm just kind of feeling around, found the poke. I know the other one is around here somewhere, got it. I'll just stick an Allen wrench through real quick to get the hole going, and then you'll take a bigger one, like a 4 or a 5. So we'll go with the 4, and I just kind of rub around it. And that way, so when you tighten down your brake bolt, it doesn't tear up your grip tape as much. Then you can kind of make it sit flush again. Now we're ready to reassemble this bad boy. So we got our rubber gasket still there. Keep everything dialed up, hopefully. We got our 3 bolts that are getting near the end of our life, so I'm not gonna crank them down too much, so in case you wanna take this back off, you'll be able to. And then if you have a bolt that's not in great condition, either the threads are starting to strip or the head's starting to wear out, before it gets stuck on there, definitely go to a hardware store, bring the bolt, and say, I need another one of these, and they should be able to help you out. So there we go, that one's in place, not even tight, just barely held in there. So now that I got them each a little snug, I'm just gonna cycle through, tightening each one at the same time. Alrighty, let's throw the back wheel on, and then we have a deck fully gripped, showing you how to do that. And for putting in the wheels, I like to put one spacer in, get the axle going in, so that spacer's in place. Just try to slide the wheel in. Now that I have one spacer and the wheel in, I'm gonna slide the axle a little bit further so nothing falls out. Now you can press in the last one. Phoenix decks are pretty easy to get the spacers in. They have those plastic things holding them in place. And right now we're having some trouble getting the bolt to go all the way through. So I'll just take my Allen wrench and feed it through the other side and wiggle it around a little bit. And there we go, it's all the way through right there. I usually start it with hand tight just to get the thread started. Now we're gonna grab our Allen wrench and our socket wrench. And since these are stronger bolts, you can crank these down a lot more. There you go, that's a full deck grip tape. Well, not the front, but full back end. Made it way easier pulling off everything. So if you guys ever regrip yours, make sure you pull everything off. It's gonna make it a lot easier for you. All right, so that's gonna be the end of the video. These guys are gonna stay and hang out. We're gonna ask some more questions. We went over some good stuff today. What did you learn today, Brittany?
How to put on grip tape.
How to put on grip tape. Have you ever put on your own grip tape before?
Not on a scooter.
Once your Apex wore out, you're gonna switch it out on your own?
Yes.
All right, cool. So make sure to check with your parents before doing that. What about you, Nick? What'd you learn?
I learned how to take my bars off and make them straight again.
That's gonna come in handy when you're flying a lot, right?
Yep.
What about you, Nico? What'd you learn today?
Same thing as what Nick said, making the bars straight, because it's really easy for flying, making the bars straight if they come loose at a skate park too.
Let us know if you guys have any other questions, anything like that, and we'll be happy to help you out. You guys wanna say anything before we go?
Shout out to my Instagram at Britton.Higham, Higham.
What about you, Nick?
Like and subscribe.
My boy. What about you, Nico?
Leave a comment and have a good day.
Leave a comment and have a good day. These guys are great. Thanks for watching, guys.